All right, so welcome back. In this video, we're going to be breaking down a pro level point, actually with Caden Niemoff in it. And this is the Scottsdale Scorchers against the Tempe Tornadoes at the Orchard at Jigsaw Health. And we're going to be talking about the shake and bake, a little, little poach there. And then we're going to also look at a point that is just has a lot of good aspects of high level play. You're not going to want to miss this. Let's jump in. All right, so to start off here, we got Pessa and Caden. We got Pessa serving here, and we're going to watch this in real time.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful athleticism.
Oh, just a massive cut, but,
Dude, that was pretty far over. So we're going to actually look at this one more time, and then we're going to watch it in slow-mo. So we got Pessa serving. Got that middle return, boom, and then the poach.
Yeah.
Now, for those of you watching, you may see that and may think, oh, I can never do that kind of thing. I know this was a pretty aggressive poach, but there are a lot of opportunities where even at intermediate levels of play that you can pick off balls. You might not be able to move as fast or as quick, but we're gonna mention a few things and we're gonna break it down so that you guys can at least get to know the opportunities that you have here. All right, so here we go. We got Pessa serving from the right side here, and Craig, you're gonna see him return. Good slice return here towards the middle of the court. And look at this, just the communication, the nonverbal communication. I just want to talk about that, Caden. When you get this middle return, how do you deal with that? Because people have problems with this all the time. And notice, it's not a forehand takes the middle thing, right? Nope. You guys have two forehands in the middle.
Correct.
So what are you looking for here?
So here's our thing, right? Is it doesn't matter whose middle ball it is, but believe it or not, Pessa and I actually like to take that middle ball that's maybe a little bit more on the opposite side. All right, so notice as soon as I see him come in, I start kind of moving over a little bit to give him a little bit of space. But then as soon as I detach from him, I start to move up my line.
So yeah, but real quick, even before that, I think it's maybe here. So even here, Caden, I don't think you both don't know who's going to take it yet. Right. So again, this ball is coming kind of in an angle. It's coming from the left side of the court here.
Correct.
And here you can see Pessa takes initiative and see he starts his backswing.
Right.
And this is one thing I know you can see it on the corner of your eye. And as soon as you recognize this, you let it go.
That's why, and I let it go.
Right. So just this communication, even if you were both going for this ball, you can see Pessa wind up. And then again, you already saw that,
right?
But why don't you mention what's happening next?
Yeah. So look, I fake actually up my line a little bit, and then I start to kind of come at an angle. All right. So I kind of took maybe a few extra steps than I needed to.
Yeah.
But one thing I knew for sure is that I was committed to poaching his drive. Okay. So I faked like I was nowhere near where that ball was going to go. But I knew I was going to have to move towards it once I was up at the kitchen line.
Yeah, and for those of you out there, I know Caden's going from one side of the court to the other. But again, if you're playing in this position, right as your opponent is getting ready to drive the ball, if you're going to try a shake and bake, you could just come squeeze and run more towards the middle of the court.
Right.
And it could still be effective at any level.
Right.
But Caden is coming obviously way, way over here. And again, when the effectiveness of a poach is the surprise factor.
Correct.
So when, Craig, obviously in this position, he's trying to keep the ball back to Pessa here.
Right.
And you're way over here. So as he's hitting this ball, you're trying to anticipate the ball that's coming to Pessa. And just to go back here, the smart play is to keep the deep player back. This is why poaching is very, very it's very effective, because in this position here, Craig is trying to keep Pessa back, but this is just a good read. Caden, you're expecting Craig to think that way, and then you come across really athletically with the poach there. And again, we see this in high level play all the time, but this is just something that we can learn from. Anything else you see from here, Caden?
Yeah. So one thing I mentioned is the commitment to the poach. All right. If you are not committed to the poach, you should not be poaching. All right. But when you realize how I detach on the court, when is it acceptable and when is it not acceptable to detach from your opponent? All right. You have to know your partner and you also have to know yourself, which means if you know that your partner hits good thirds, whether it's a drop or a drive, that's when you know you can start to detach. All right. But what that also means is when I said know yourself, if your partner happens to not hit a good third shot drive or drop, then what? Right? It is okay for you to detach if you feel comfortable playing defense in the transition zone and if you know that your partner has good drops and drives. Otherwise, I would typically say stay closer to your partner.
Yeah, so that's the thing too. Here, Pesa has a really good low drive here. If you didn't, and we see this in a lot of intermediate play too, is when the partner drives the ball, this person runs up and then they get kind of killed up there.
Right.
So again, what Caden is saying, when your partner is set in good position to hit a good third shot drive, you're just anticipating, some pop the ball, or you're anticipating for them to kind of send it back deep. But at times, Caden, would you say sometimes you go for the poach and you'll get burned here and there?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's meant to happen, right? I mean, if you get someone on it 2 or 3 times, eventually they're going to look to start going behind you. And especially at the highest level of pickleball, people figure it out pretty quick. So all I can say is it's definitely something to look out for, right? But you also have to be a little bit skeptical of it, right?
High risk, high reward.
High risk, high reward for sure.
But again, if you do it the right way and you're anticipating well and you can, play defense in transition,
right.
It is a good play.
It is.
All right, so now let's hop right into the next point. This is a longer point. It has a lot of good things in it. So we're going to watch it in real time first, and then we'll break it down. Here we go. We got Pesa serving, and they're stacking. As you can see, he serves and slides over. Good drop there. Oh, there's a lot to mention here when we break it down. Beautiful. The reset master, Pesa. And then with a little, what do we call that? A lunge ernie or side ernie or straddling ernie, right?
Yeah. Right. It's not a full ernie, but you're honestly, I was kind of using it more as a fake, and I got it, so I got lucky, I guess.
All right. So I know that point went by really fast, but we'll play it at normal speed at the end. But we're gonna break it down here. So we got Pesa serving and sliding over. Okay, good return here, and notice again. Couple of things that I do want to mention just right off the bat here is Caden watching his partner Pesa again, watching him as he hits his third shot drop. So let's go back here. All right, so as we see here, as Pesa is hitting his third, look at your pretty aggressive approach here, Caden.
Yeah.
Now, again, at higher levels, this is what you're going to see. This is very typical. As the return is coming back, you will see a lead in. This is what I call a lead in. And notice Caden, his eyes are on Pesa, watching him hit the ball, and he's slowly coming in.
Yeah.
And you can see a little fake there, but let's just talk about that. Why, Caden, do you think at sometimes you have a more aggressive lead in and a less aggressive? Like, what are you seeing here from Pesa to give you the confidence to lead in a little bit?
Yeah. So, I mean, for what I know, we've played at least 10 points together already.
Yeah.
So I know his third shot drops are going to be good, but what I'm making sure of is as you see me kind of peeking at his shot,
yes,
I'm taking a good look at where his ball is going over the net, right? I want to make sure that I'm not just moving up and hoping that he hits a good third shot. I want to also see from my own eyes to make sure that I'm good to continue moving forward. And I'll see, based off of where he hits his ball to the net, before it even goes over the net, I want to see if I know that it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, so really, really good stuff, Caden. One of the things that I like to tell my students is you're watching the return and the body position of your partner.
Absolutely.
So you can see actually the return is pretty short, fairly short, and I think that's one of the things consciously that you notice here.
Right.
And you can see see how stable he is and how set up he is.
Yeah.
So you know that his quality of a third here will be fairly good.
Right.
If the return was hitting like
back corner,
yeah, back corner, and you saw Pessa's movement falling back,
Yep.
your
I'd probably stay a little bit more in
your
transition.
approach would not be this aggressive. But
Right.
you see that it's a short return. Pessa's well set up. Now you can really, really lead in and be confident that your partner is going to hit a fairly good ball.
Yeah, I love that.
So here we go, and see a little fake poach here.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and again, same kind of scenario that we saw in another video, but in this position, we got Craig over here on the left side here, and he's going to, you're thinking that he's going to go to Pessa because he's a little bit deeper, so you're trying to fake middle here. I think it's just a little bit of a good move.
Right.
He ends up still going there, but
Well,
again,
and here's the thing, right? Is my movement may not it may not look like I'm doing anything, but even if
yeah,
in Craig's mind, he's thinking to himself, oh, Caden's moving, right? That is something that can throw your opponents off, right? Little shuffles like that, little head movements like that can get in people's heads and can force them to make unforced errors. So even if I don't get the ball there, I'm hoping that in Craig's mind, I tickled his brain a little bit and said, hey, here I am. You better watch out, right?
Yeah, and it's just, again, it not just forces errors, but it just has them thinking of a different thing. Right. So, when you're moving like this and making like little movements towards the middle, just right there, even right here, Craig could choose to maybe go up the line as in a lower percentage shot or something like that.
Right. Well, and if I'm not mistaken, I actually used that move on Kyle like 6 points beforehand, and they set me up for an easy Ernie. So maybe I was trying it again there.
Yeah.
Obviously, I can't exactly remember my thought process in the moment, but I think right there I was thinking, oh, well, maybe I can get another Ernie or something easy out of these guys because I'm in their head, hopefully.
Yeah, and then now let's see this great topspin roll by Craig. Takes it out of the air. It's the first thing you want to look for.
Yep.
And look at here, this positioning. Pessa's well balanced, and you're going to see him reset. And we talked about resetting from transition.
Yep.
You're going to see him do his best to reset the ball to a neutral position so that he could come in. You're going to see this in high-level play all the time. If you're coming in, let's just look at Pessa right here. You're going to see him split step, right? Good low
Feet
positioning.
are set. Love that.
And then a reset here. So good reset, and that allows him to come in. So let's see. Now Kyle takes that ball, and we talked about this again in the previous video, but this middle dink here, there's several things that Kyle can do with it, but one of the big key ones is to hit it in this back corner towards the backhand.
Open up the court.
Just to open up the court, push Caden off the line, and this is just a really good dinker. Okay, another thing we can mention here is look how far Caden travels over, and look at where Pessa is.
Yep.
Right, he's straddling the center line. If you have a partner that has to go get a ball way wide, make sure that you're coming over aggressively to cover the middle of the court.
And notice, even with my dink, I tried to take it in the air first, and then when I didn't, I took a step back off that line to give myself some space.
Yeah, and is this a little bit lifted ball here? Oh, it is.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
So, actually, this is a good situation here. So, really, really good ball, Caden. And you're going up the line here. I don't know, Caden, what would you say? A little bit risky. I would like to see you actually put this more middle, maybe.
Yeah, so for me here, I'm thinking Craig's actually more at the line, right? So Kyle actually hit such a good dink. You kind of see my head as soon as I can't take it in the air, my head is down, right? So actually that would have been something I would have looked for and possibly looked for the Ernie. So I was expecting Craig to kind of be moving towards my line, all right? Which now would have moved Kyle all the way over basically onto his court. But since Craig didn't move, it was not a great dink.
Yeah, so, and again, in this situation, when I'm really wide, and we see this happen a lot, again, the down the line is going to be a little bit tough because we got the highest part of the net.
Right.
Cross court's already tough because you're in this position. So
Right.
trying to hit in space, maybe in between Kyle and Craig,
Yeah.
it is probably the preferred shot, but you do tend to just a little bit up. And I want you to notice Pesa. Look at that body language. We're just going to look at Pesa really quick. Now, we all pop up balls, but as soon as he sees this, watch Pesa what he does here. Takes a little step off the line.
Yep.
Just
Gives himself a little bit of time.
Give
I
himself
like
some
that.
time.
Yeah.
And then look at that. And then
Feet are set.
And feet are set. So the
Paddles
really,
ready.
really important thing, don't let anyone tell you that you can't back up off the line. When we see high balls like this, look, you can see Craig drop his paddle down. That's an indicator of a speed up.
Right.
So Pesa gives him some time. And then boom, reset here. Now, again, good reset here. And let's actually see both of your split steps here. So after this reset here, and then let's see you both. Look at that.
In sync.
In sync split step. And notice, though, after this reset, everyone here, Pesa knows that it's a little bit high, like a little bit higher reset. And again, you can see the paddle of Kyle. He drops his paddle head, so you guys are going to get ready to defend again. Look at perfect split step here. And then look at this, reset again.
Bang.
And then again, we can see Kyle probably taking this next one out of the air. So both of you, you're resetting it until you can get something a little bit lower contact. And again, we can see Kyle again taking this out of the air and just another reset.
Ball. Yeah.
Okay, so finally that one drops and you see both of you, right? After that second reset, here's one. Okay, it's a little bit high. Here's
more.
two.
He's able to go cross court with it, which is actually super hard.
As soon as you get that in, now you can close in. And wow, look at that there. And Caden,
athleticism, man. I didn't even touch that kitchen line.
What did you read here? So we got a cross court ball.
Yep. So again, right, cross court ball. I know in my head, I'm thinking to myself, okay, as soon as Craig touches this ball, he's not going to want to go back to Pesa because Pesa just manhandled these guys and said, hey, these balls you're hitting at me, they're nothing. So they obviously are not going to go to him. So as soon as I see Craig's head go down, I know he's reading up the line, and I know he's either thinking a speed up or he's thinking a dink to just kind of go behind me because I'm playing here in the middle of the court. And as soon as I see his head go down, I start my movement. Obviously, this one was not a super duper clean Ernie, but I was able to kind of keep my feet out and get the high ball. That was nice and easy.
Yeah, no, that's really good. Here's the other thing, too, I would mention. I don't even know if going down the line here is the smartest shot. At higher levels, the Ernie threat is so big that if I was Craig, I'm surprised he didn't go more middle here.
Right.
Or cross court. Let's see this reset from Pesa here.
It's pretty good looking.
It's good, but, he could have easily went cross court with this ball.
Yep. He you know what it was? He didn't shuffle his feet. He kind of leaned for it. And that really only put him in a position. I mean, he definitely could have tried to roll it back cross court, but the easiest shot with where he was balanced and where his feet were was up the line for him.
Yeah, so again, moving your feet is really important. And again, because of the Ernie threat, it's just good. It's always good, everyone, to learn how to utilize the middle of the court. When you feel pressed and when you're looking at the ball, you don't know where your opponents are because you got to look down. So if you just send it somewhere towards the middle, it can get you out of a lot of trouble.
And it honestly, this is so random, but it kind of looks like Pesa and I are wearing the same number. I'm wearing 8, he's wearing 6. Okay, so we have different numbers.
All right, let's watch the real live point in full fashion one more time. Here we go. Good little fake there. Good reset there. Nice. Beautiful.
It just gets better.
Man, and then with the finish.
I've hit a good amount of Ernies in my life, and I move around a lot at the kitchen line, and I've never been called for a foot fault.
Hey, that's good statistics there.
That's right.
So again, hopefully you really, really enjoyed this video, everybody. Again, we try to do our best to notice what we see and call it out. Again, when you're watching pro level play, it's really, really difficult, right? It's difficult to see what's going on because things happen so fast. So hopefully this really, really helps you. We're going to be doing a lot of these. And actually, we want to do this at the amateur level as well. 3-0, 3-5, 4-0, mixed doubles, men's doubles, women's doubles, singles. If you would like that, maybe send us an email with a video.
With your best point.
Yeah, with your best point or something that you'd like to break down. We'd like to break down amateur levels as well. I think you all can learn a lot from it. So yeah, send us an email at brionespickleball@gmail.com, or we may have a form or something that you can do that. You'll have to check below.
Make sure you guys actually send us a good quality video that we can watch. Do not send it on your Samsung Galaxy 4. Okay.
Yeah. So again, hopefully you really enjoyed this video. We're going to come at you with a lot more. So stay tuned for that. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and we'll see you in the next video.